Every time I go to the gym and I see the Muslim men there working out, doing their thing, I see a bunch of stuff. Obviously good stuff, but a lot of bad stuff. And I think these are probably the five biggest mistakes anyone can do as a Muslim man or a woman at the gym. And the first thing I think is really obvious, but when I tell people, they just seem to kind of justify it. And that is listening to music. And look, I'm not going to go into fiqh and talk about how music is halal or haram. I have my opinion, but being a music producer, a former music producer before I became a Muslim, I saw a bunch of stuff. I saw things in that industry that, as a Muslim, you should stay away from. And you might say, yeah, but Simon, look, I'm just listening. I'm not producing. I know, but it doesn't mean that it's not as bad and it won't affect you negatively. The things I saw when people were about to record in the studio, they did these kind of satanic rituals, and they were often intoxicated by using drugs or drinking alcohol before they were about to record. And whether you want to see the reality for what it is or not, you cannot get away from that 95% of the music industry is a movement for shaitan, for the devil. And I'm not talking about ikhtilaf matters, things that, there is kind of a gray area, such as anashid and those things. I'm talking about music today. And I know that a lot of these Muslims at the gym are listening to it. They're not doing their best to hide it. And look, I know you might be in a gym where they just blast music out of the speakers and you kind of have no choice but to listen to it. But that is where you're wrong. You can do a lot of things to avoid that. Well, firstly, try to find a gym that has no music, depending on where you live. For example, here where I live in Dubai, I thought there were no gyms that didn't play music. And then I found one like 5-10 minutes away. So just make an effort to look for it. Even in Sweden, where I'm from originally, it's not a Muslim country, by the way. Me and my friends used to go to the gym, a specific gym where we got to know the place, the owners. And we said to them, is it okay if it's just, we turn down the music? And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. And no, I know that not every one of you have these options, but what you could do is at least use headphones and listen to something else. Listen to beneficial lectures or podcasts, whatever that might be, just to block off the music. And in those cases where they just max out the volume of the speakers, I would use ear protections. You can use these small ones and put them in your ears so you don't have to listen to it. And then following this is number 2, being in a mixed gym and not lowering your gaze. First off, you should not be in a mixed environment at all. But I know that in a lot of places, even in Muslim countries, this can be really hard. So what should you do? Well, if you're going to a gym and it is in fact mixed, well, don't look at the opposite gender. I can see men just staring without any sense of haya, without any shyness of knowing that Allah is watching and knowing that all the other people are watching. And probably the sister you're staring at, like a sniper or something, she's probably seeing you as well. And I know we live in a time where it might not be as easy to lower the gaze. But firstly, you should avoid going to those places where you are unable to lower your gaze. But if you tend to be or happens to be in a place that is mixed, or a female walks by, or if you're a sister, a man walks by, and you cannot seem to lower the gaze, there is actually a hack that I heard. Instead of trying to lower the gaze or trying to avoid the object in question, this might just enable you to stare even more, because that's kind of how the human psychology works. If I tell you, for example, don't think of an orange, you are probably going to think of an orange, right? So instead, what you should do is to place your focus on something else. If you know that there is a group of sisters or a group of men walking by and you know it's going to be hard to lower the gaze, well, focus on something else. Like look in your phone and look at something else, or go and look at the floor. Look at some dirty spot on the floor that you wished the cleaner would have cleaned up. Anything to kind of distract you from the other thing. That is what you need to do. So number 2, lower your gaze. And then point number 3 is probably more general, and that is not following a plan at all. And I see this a lot. I see people, they come into the gym and you can instantly see if they're actually following a program or they're just doing their thing. And it's nothing bad with that. It's good that they're coming to the gym. But I think it's if you're at least making an effort and you're paying for a membership and doing all these things, at least make some kind of preparation. You can at least Google workout plan for men or workout plan for women, workout plan for whatever that might be, right? So you see these people, they often do like a buffet of everything. They go through all of the machines for every single body part, and you can kind of see they're kind of lost. The thing is, the reason why you want to follow a plan at all is that you don't have to overdo things. Like sometimes I go to the gym and I have like 3 exercises on the list. Isn't that better than just doing every single machine at the gym? And secondly, if you're following a plan, you can actually see if you're making progress. And making progress or seeing progress in front of you will make you more motivated, right? It's like when I learned Arabic in Egypt, I sat and tried to figure out words and vocabulary and, learn the Arabic alphabet, the grammar. It was so hard and confusing. But then suddenly when I heard someone speak Arabic and I understood them, like, subhanAllah, that was a moment. I mean, for me, that was a moment of euphoria. Like, all this time I've spent actually led to something. I've actually made progress. This same thing with the gym or anything else in life. You need to see progress in order for you to keep going. And you cannot see progress if you're not actually following something that enables you to see the progress. Like, for example, following a plan, you're doing bench press week 1 at a certain weight. Next week, you're increasing the weight by 5 kilos. Wow. Mashallah, Allah Mubarak. I did actually progress in this. And then you do the same thing next week. So do follow a plan, please. And then we got number 4, which kind of ties into number 3, to be honest. But this one is equally as important, if not more important. And that is doing no kind of progression. And what I mean by that is, yes, you might have a, gym membership, or you go to some place to work out. You have a plan that you follow, but you just kind of being too comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing any kind of effort of, moving, like pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. And if you don't do that, you will not see progression. Like the example I had with the bench press, like if you do bench press at a certain weight, and then the next week you increase the weight with at least 5 kilograms or 2 kilograms, or even 1, then that is progression. The thing is, you just need to push yourself. You need to learn how to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And no, I don't mean you have to push yourself and, struggle every kind of workout. No, I mean at least do an effort of trying to progress. And this is why I see people, they are in the same shape as they've always been. They see no kind of increase in their muscle mass or decrease in their fat mass for years. This is why, even though they might have been working out, been consistent, that's good, but they have not progressed because they've just been too comfortable. And then number 5 is trying to do everything by yourself, which is a really bad idea, to be honest. Like, coming from someone who knows what they're talking about, I, for many years, tried to do everything myself. Like, first when I started to learn Arabic, for example, I tried to do it myself. I tried to look on YouTube. I tried to do this and that, and fine, that works. And same with the Quran, same with thing. I tried to do it myself because I thought, you know what? I am good enough. I can do this myself. I have the confidence. MashaAllah, Allah Mubarak, great brother. But even though confidence might get you somewhere, it won't get you to where you want to be unless you know what you're doing. So the thing is, don't do things you don't know about without asking for help or guidance. And it might be as simple, like if we're talking about the gym, go and ask someone who looks like they know what they're doing, or at least a personal trainer at the gym. If you're unsure about an exercise or whatever, ask them. Don't be too afraid to ask. Like, if you can learn the skill of asking and learning from other people, from their mistakes, instead of doing the mistake yourself, you're going to save yourself so much time and get ahead of so many people by this simple practical step. And this year I actually committed 100% to this. I got myself a coach in my business. I got myself a Quran teacher. I found myself with, teachers in Arabic, in fiqh. Now when I go to the university, I have someone teaching me what to do instead of me trying to figure out, by myself through trial and error, which just wastes time. And connected to this, like if you are going to the gym and you do all of these things I mentioned and the mistakes I mentioned, and you feel like, bro, I need help, I need some guidance, help me, then just go to the description below. I have an application form there. If you want to apply to join my coaching, join my system to help Muslims to become stronger in their physical and spiritual health. And I've already helped, Allah Mubarak, hundreds of Muslims, and they've seen great results. And I actually did an interview with a client recently. You can watch that video if you want, where he lost 10 kilos of fat, if not more, because he gained a lot of muscles as well, in less than 8 weeks. And he found himself to have more time and energy to work on his side hustle and side business, which just inshallah gonna help him to actually find another level of financial freedom. And that's the thing, when you change something in your life, even if it's just in one area, like inevitably this will affect all the other areas of your life as well, especially when it comes to health and fitness. So if you're interested in knowing more about that and want to jump on a call with me, go to the link in the description. There's a link to the application form. Make your application and I'll contact you as soon as possible, inshallah. So these were the 5 top mistakes I see Muslims do at the gym, which you should not do.